we're back. I have got everything taped up, every wire that's exposed, and it's all electrical tape, clean and good to go. I've got it all tucked behind for the most part, so I've got all the difficult stuff out of the way. Still need to hook everything up, but before I'm doing that, I have to go pick up the drive shaft in Lorton. It's about 40 minutes away. I bought this drive shaft from the No Rotors V8 engine Rx7 for like 150 bucks. It's an aluminum drive shaft. It looked like the guy custom made it himself. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it seems to be completely fine because I went over to Lorton the other day and dropped it off at the driveline specialist, and he said it just needs a U-joint greased up and it rebalanced. 150 bucks and however much the U-joint and the balancing is, sounds good to me. I'm happy about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that. It's about like 30 minutes or so away, depends on traffic, and see what goes on. Alright, oh look at that horrible parking. I'm gonna fix this. Back, and this thing looks so much better than what it did before. Ooh, pink, nice. Drive shaft's looking good. Go and get these wires all hooked up. It's gonna actually not catch on fire, I swear. Still not sure what I'm gonna do with the PVC line. I'll figure that out while I'm doing that. But we got it good to go, and I'll deal with that later. But I'm going to re-hook up all of these wires back onto where they're supposed to go. This praying, yeah, there's no fire. All right, I was saved. And today I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, but it is going to possibly save my motor. And so I think spending like $3, $4, around then, $100 bucks is way better than
buying a brand new motor. Granted, they're junkyard motors, but still cheaper than a brand new motor.
So here is this 3-quart Canton Accusump. So I got almost everything from Improved Racing, including the hose. Got this manual valve from Canton. We got these brackets from Canton, and the Accusump itself from Canton. It's time to start putting this bitch in. So the very first thing I've got to do is install this valve into this spout, this pressure valve right here. The only time you remove it is right now to install this. I also have to Teflon these as well, so I'll do that really quick. And there we go. Next thing up is this piece that goes into the female part of the valve. Now that we got that all set up and ready to go, I'm gonna actually start putting it into the car. So pretty much, I think this is the only possible spot. I've tried it here. It's not gonna happen. I'd have to make a bunch of brackets to lead it up right here. I don't even know what I'd have to make, honestly. Just don't want to. I think the only spot that I could do it without having, with just where I just straight up rivet and not have to do anything else is right here. But I'll have to deal with these lines after. So I have the paint holes all marked for where it needs to go. I'm gonna grab the grill. I said the grill. Oh, prime. The drill. My first time ever using a rivet gun, or rivet nut. Oh shit, I can't get the leverage. Oh, it worked. These things are awesome. Hell yeah. The clamps all bolted in, and so I'm gonna go ahead and slide this sump on there. Hell yeah. And it is all in and tightened up good. Oil side's higher up than the air side. I'm just gonna have to figure out where I run my line. I think I'm gonna do pull it right here, or peel it down here, on here, and then immediately tuck it into here. Or I'll try and see if I can do it without maybe into here, and then pop it right into here somewhere, because I do not want the line in my car as much as I can. I mean, as little as possible on the car. GoPro is dying, and I'm still waiting on the oil pressure gauge, and I don't want to do anything else until I know the proper oil pressure of the engine. All right, we are back and we got the gauges. Back the next day. It's so much nicer out, man. It's almost 60 degrees. I went to check the temperature, and it says unhealthy air quality for sensitive groups. Are we sensitive? Oh. Here's the new gauge. The old one, I'm not sure what happened to it. I guess pretty much it just reads max the whole time. So I just went ahead, instead of trying to figure out all three of the problems, just bought new stuff, and I got new wire over in the toolbox to get that ready to go. But I don't think I have enough line for the sump. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try and squeeze it out. Kind of sketched out about that. I only bought 10 foot, so we'll have to see. All right, because I'm not sure that this is enough line. I'm just gonna throw this on top, do this without doing any cutting, and then put this on. There's this little hole right here. This little hole right here. I'm gonna drill it bigger to accommodate this line. Hopefully I'll have enough line to run it down, across, all the way, and it'll run to a part of this line right here. I accidentally put them in the wrong spot, and this one, and this one. So I have to drain the oil anyways. I'm putting a new oil sensor in this spot. If you can see. There's a nut right there. Pull it out. The jig oil pressure sensor fits perfectly right there. So right now all I'm doing is test fitting, so that's why I'm not putting a grommet there or making it any bigger. It's just, it fits. I just want to see if it's long enough and deal with it. So, you got super good news, super bad news. Good news is the accumulator line makes it perfectly. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room pretty much. But when I went to switch the lines, the line that's supposed to be up top is short. So I'm going to use this line, a spare line, just in case I cut this one too short when I go to the T, use the T, because it actually is a little too long. And order probably like 5 foot of line. The name of the game. I've just learned to accept it after the past, I don't know, I think I've been building this for like 2.5, 3 years or something. So I went ahead and I put just everything together. I couldn't use the straight race fluck fittings that I bought because I didn't really think about the exhaust being an issue. Pretty much using these to route to where they can shape and not kink or wrap around my header, so I don't have to deal with any of those issues, because the first time I did it I had to redo the entire line because it was running along the header. Rip. I am actually running a high flow check valve right here from Raceflux. I heard a bunch of things about how the normal check valves, they would either not allow enough push, don't really know the science behind it, but pretty much the oil pressure won't be what it's supposed to be at, and so it was either don't use one at all or use a high flow. I really wanted to follow the instructions and what Canton said, so I just went ahead and got a high flow. This is the accumulator line pulling out. It's gonna connect to the line once it's back out to where it's supposed to be. And the concern that I have is the top line, very short, goes right up top there, which is easy, that's fine. But right here, exhaust
I'm worried if it's gonna be a problem. I guess we'll have to find out.
Alright, first one's out. Got the entire oil cooler adapter taken off and moved because these popped loose again. It's really annoying. I have to tighten them with it off, and then I have to tighten all the lines while it hangs and then bolt it onto the line because there's barely any room on the block. And so I just went ahead and pulled it out because the new oil sensor is going to go where this used to be, and I know I might have to tighten it. I might have to tighten it again, and because I was redoing the lines, I had to take them all off anyways. So pretty much went to go install the return line, and pretty much this is not sharp enough because it's gonna have to essentially point all the way down now, kind of like that. Pretty much as soon as I go to tighten it down, pull it down, it kinks. So I'm pretty much going to ditch this fitting altogether. I'm gonna steal this fitting off of it because it is a little bit sharper, and I think I can get away with the kink. Well, hell yeah. Success. So now I'm running pump line, which goes to here, all the way to the sump. Sweet. So the line's length is plenty long. Put it right there. So one of the things that I have to do before I switch up and fill everything up is I have to remove this piece so I can get to this bypass valve right here. The bypass valve, it pretty much allows unfiltered oil to go through when the filter is clogged or there's some sort of weird pressure. And when you have the Accusump, the pressure change could make this open up prematurely, and I don't want that to mess that up. So I have this block off valve, and I'm gonna pull those two pieces apart and throw that in. is also here. I had to match it and get a new one. It's just as sharp as the other one, and it'll be better when I got it all installed, but it's going to be able to clear the engine mount without getting in the way of the header. This is going to fit. Well, it looks like it. Sweet. Runs right away safely through there, and then out to over there. Yeet! So right now I'm connecting the return line and the check valve to each other. I've ran the sump line, but I've not connected the fitting yet because I wanted to figure out the header clearance when this is completely installed.
I think I'm glad I did. Oh boy, that's gonna be cutting it close with this fitting.
I think I'll have to do a perfect 90-degree right here so it pops out here, and then have the exhaust pull inward so it's away from here, because I do not want any heating problems. Alright, I've got the Accusump line completely ran, and I'm hoping that when this is on there, it's not in the way of the exhaust. Will this get in the way? Nope! There's plenty of room. Oh wait, there you go. That's a better view. That's good enough. Oil filters, they also have bypass valves as well, including the one in the engine, depending on your car. I don't know if all of them do, but most filters come standard with one because, face it, most people don't know how to maintain their car. They're idiots. Now I've gotten a bigger oil filter. Don't really know the reasoning on it. I think something to do with it can take better pressure. This filter is much larger. It doesn't have a bypass filter, and I also have a new normal filter that can show the difference. Right here is the filter that I'm going to be using. There's absolutely nothing in there besides the filter. But here is the filter that a normal person gets, and right there, yep, that's definitely the valve of some sort or something like that. When you have an Accusump, you definitely don't want to have anything that can mess with the engine enough to where the bypass valve will open up. I don't know, something to do with it can be confused or something. I was reading it up. I really don't know exactly the whole situation, but bottom line is there's something to do with pressure and the way the valve opens up. Someone let us know. They probably have a better history on it, or better information. Yeah. Oh boy, that filter's so much bigger. It's lower than the oil pan now. So I went ahead and had to redo everything and then heat tape it as well, because I forgot about this here exhaust being scary close. Everything is tightened. Yeah, I know, right? Dude, stop. I'm just talking about myself.
Alright, so basically,
And so,
technical stuff, big words, stuff.
new gauge, new oil gauge. Don't know.
Hopefully nothing gets on fire.
No, honestly.
Actually, hopefully.
Yeah. Before I started for the first time, this gauge right now it's at 50. Well, it's upside down to shit, so. Well, right there, if you could see better, it's at 50 right now. There's this little valve right here that I gotta keep poking to let the air out. And I will go ahead and do that and bring it down to 10. So right now it's dropped to about 10 pounds. 10 pounds. And it is ready to go. We're about to start it up and cross my fingers that this works. It literally fell through. No. Oh, never mind. I'm retarded. Never mind. There's two. I thought there was 4. Oh, chicken nuggets. I need to stop saying that. It's good. It's good.
Gonna be
it's
one
good.
of those things.
It's gonna be one of those things. All right.
Batteries all hooked up.
So we gotta make sure that this gauge matches the oil pressure gauge over there by the time it fills her up.
Yeah. Don't start it.
No, I gotta.
Yeah.
Listen. Sounds like we're good.
gauge.
Fucking oil pressure gauge. Oil gauge. This is the second one I put in and it still doesn't work right. I'm pretty much just gonna hope that my oil pressure's right. And I know that the LS1, they're usually like 40 to 60 pounds or so. So if the Accusump stops there, that's where I'll shut it off.
I'm watching the sump of Accus.
No, I'm just. Ha! Guess what?
Oh, look at that.
See, I'm listening and learning. The new fuel line was leaking. I would literally have just given up if it caught on fire.
I would literally have just given up.
So I went ahead and ordered both the new fittings. Got them in. Not really sure why that's leaking. Probably has something to do with it being Jegs fittings on a cheap Amazon nylon line. So I got the cheap Amazon fittings. And I'm gonna attach them up to the line. Because those things never leaked until I used a different fitting. So it makes sense. So it's all good to go. New fittings are on. They're much shorter. I had to make the line a little longer. And they're tight. Made sure everything was tight. Can't have anything leaking. So I'm gonna check and see if it still leaks right out of these spots. I'm really hoping this won't leak now. Sweet. Finally gonna go ahead and get this started. So Accusump valve's open. Oh, she died. Fuck. Close that really quick. Shit. And it's done. It equalized at about 42. I haven't really ran it that long. It's actually the longest I've ran it since it caught on fire. So pretty much now that the Accusump filled up, I gotta refill the engine with the oil that it took. It's plenty. I'm just gonna put like a quart and a quart and a half or so in there. I think that's about what it takes. It's a 3-quart, but it never goes full. I think it stays halfway. So I mean, a quart and a half. My dipstick gauge isn't the most accurate. So that is pretty much it for the video. Essentially what it is, hooked up the Accusump, ran all the lines the way they should, and then once you did that, for the pre-start, you drop down the gauge to it says about 10 pounds, I guess it's called the pre-charge, and you open it up, start the car, like you saw, let it run till it gets up to about 40 or so. You're supposed to be using an oil gauge, but I mean, I went through 2 oil gauges during this video. I bought both. This brand new. I'm doing something wrong clearly, but it is finally done. I have an Accusump in my fucking car. An Accusump in my car. Hell yes. I'm gonna leave it be and check for leaks for the next couple of days. Cross my fingers that there's no leaks and be happy with what I got.